Question for me, why is it so hard to find a therapist? Well, it's actually not hard to find a therapist. Why is it so hard to find a good therapist and a therapist that's a fit for you? Let's explore that and how to find that therapist that's a fit for you. I'm Jonathan Decker with Mended Light, and this is Ask a Therapist. I get this question a lot because people have experiences with therapists that aren't very good. And this could be true of anywhere. You can go to a mechanic, you can go to a restaurant, and you can have a not great experience. But if you have a not great experience at a restaurant, odds are the worst that's going to happen is you're going to spend a couple days on the toilet.
Nice toilet.
Right? You have a bad experience with a mechanic, you're probably going to need to go to a different mechanic to undo that damage and fix the original problem. You have a bad experience with a therapist, it could contribute to your relationships falling apart. Like, this is serious business. So how do you find a good therapist? Let's define that really fast, because not all therapists are good. Some therapists absolutely stink at their jobs. They have no business doing therapy. They're doing more damage than good. But more often, it's not about, is this a good therapist or not? Every therapist out there received a lot of schooling, a lot of training, and has a fair amount of experience in what they're doing. More often than not, it's not about, is this a good therapist or a bad therapist? It's about, is this therapist a fit for me?
My therapist says I'm regressing.
And that involves a level of understanding about what your struggle is, what your problem is, what your goal is, as well as the personality and the style of the therapist and whether that's going to be a fit. So the very first thing, if you're looking for a good therapist, you want to find somebody who specializes, has training and experience in whatever it is you're going through. For example, we talk a lot here about betrayal trauma. If a therapist isn't trained specifically in helping you heal from betrayal trauma, they may wade in there and do harm without meaning to, really wanting to help things get better, but not knowing the ins and outs of that very complex problem. Or you may be looking for someone to help with psychosis, with, you have hallucinations or you hear things that other people don't hear, and you go to somebody who's not trained or qualified in that, and they're not going to really be able to help. So you want to find somebody who has that training, has that experience, has that specialty, and every therapist out there specializes. If they don't, it's actually not a great sign. If they say, I do everything and I do it all well, they probably don't. It's like getting burgers from a taco place. You ever do that? Not a good idea, right? Stay in your lane.
Stay in this lane!
So for example, we deal with trauma, we deal with healing from infidelity, and we deal with couples and relationship issues and family issues. We are not a clinic that specializes in psychosis. We don't specialize in emotional disorders, mental disorders. Like, you want to find the right fit for you, the best fit for you. So make sure they specialize. Number two is make sure they're a fit for you personality-wise. You may think that the approach matters, and in some cases it does. Some people truly benefit from EMDR style therapy or solutions focused or what have you. Dr. Irwin Yalom said it's the relationship that heals. That we can master techniques, we can master schools of thought, but if we can't connect with people, we can't help them to heal. Now, if you're a very analytical person, you may benefit from a therapist who's very dry, very analytical, who's more of a mirror than anything and helps you to explore your different options, helps you to think things through in a different way, and doesn't really reveal a lot about themselves in therapy. For other people, that's really damaging because they have a therapist who's just being a mirror and they feel really judged. I'm somebody who is very much me.
Yeah, right.
In therapy. In fact, it's kind of our MO here. We hire therapists who are very much themselves in therapy and reveal, not all the secrets of their life or where their home address or anything, but they reveal themselves in therapy because it's that connection. And also, I feel like people will accept direct feedback as long as they feel respected and loved. And so do you need someone who is more nurturing? Do you need somebody who's more compassionate? Do you need someone who's more understanding? But make no mistake, no matter what therapy you're doing, you also need someone who's going to kick your butt. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for someone to point out things that maybe you're not seeing or that you don't want to see? Are you ready for someone to help hold you accountable? If you're looking for someone just to be your friend or for someone just to make you feel good about yourself, there may be therapists out there who will do that, but will you actually grow? Will things actually get better if you're not changing and evolving?
Evolve. Evolve!
And how are you going to change and evolve unless somebody helps you to do it? And how are they going to help you to do it unless they call you on your BS? There's going to be a component of therapy that is always going to be uncomfortable. Now, you may find, I just need someone to talk to and affirm me and validate me. And there are therapists who will do that. But you need to know, what am I looking for?
Yeah, what am I looking for?
Does the therapist specialize it? And do we click? In a lot of ways, therapy is like dating.
Really? Really?
Even though there's not an actual romantic relationship involved. If there is, that's an ethical violation. But there needs to be chemistry. There needs to be, we're a good fit for each other. We would enjoy working together. I feel like this is somebody that I would look forward to seeing every week. And that's true for the therapist, and that's true for you. So here's what I would recommend. If you've been watching Mended Light and you like what we do and you feel like our culture and our way of doing things is a fit for you, go ahead and visit mendedlight.com and learn about what we do. Learn about our therapists, learn about our programs, and schedule an appointment. If you don't feel like we're a fit for you, you can go to Psychology Today and you can search for therapists in your area and match up with someone who has an expertise in your need and who might take your insurance, and you could search and narrow it down and find somebody, and then you can try people on and go to the various offices or read their profiles and see who's the best fit for you.
Cool.
The other thing I would say is don't be afraid to try on various therapists until you find the right one. It's another way it's like dating. Like, you're not locked in and committed just because you went to dinner with somebody one time. It's a similar thing. Just because you had a session doesn't mean this has to be your therapist. The therapist's job is to help you and to connect with you. And if they're helping you and connecting with you, then they're doing their job well and you'll want to continue.
I agree.
Do you want to continue after your session is the first thing. And the second thing is don't be afraid to give your therapist feedback. Some people see a therapist for a while and it's going well and then they feel like they're plateauing or they don't like the approach the therapist is trying. Any good therapist, speaking of good therapists, any therapist who's going to be a fit for you is going to want to meet your needs.
My needs?
And so tell them, hey, this isn't working for me and here's why. Or I was more imagining that we could do things this way. Now, that's not to say that you give your therapist orders, because you are there for their expertise. You are there for approaches or things that they are trying that will help you but may be unpleasant. And so I'm not suggesting like everything should just be nice and happy all the time or that you enjoy it. But if you don't feel like it's working, tell your therapist. If they're worth their salt, they'll switch things up. If they're worth their salt, they're gonna listen to you and make adjustments. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? What you do affects them, what they do affects you, and you're supposed to be working in tandem together. A lot of people are scared to tell their therapist, this doesn't work for me. And they either just like ghost the therapist and stop coming and stop returning calls and emails, which as a therapist, that really annoys me.
You need to stop ghosting him.
Or they keep going along with whatever the therapist is doing because they don't want to hurt the therapist's feelings. Be assertive, have a voice. Don't be afraid to take a major role in shaping what therapy looks like for you. Now, if you've enjoyed this, I want to invite you to check out another video, How Do I Know If I Have Trauma? And if what we're doing here at Mended Light is helping you in any way, we know you have friends, we know you have family. Our mission is to reach as many people as possible to help lift them as well. So please pass this along. Like, subscribe, click the bell so that you are notified and you never miss a video. You'll hear me say this all the time because I mean it. Keep shining your light. We need it, and so does the world. I'm Jonathan Decker with Mended Light. This has been Ask a Therapist, and I'll see you next time. Oh, look! Here it is. You were waiting for it, and here it is. It's the video. The one I was telling you about, how to heal from trauma. It's right there. You got a few minutes. You know you do. Don't go to something meaningless. Go to this.